Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Talk the Talk with me, Desh. Today we welcome our very own ambassador of Talk the Talk show, Jeff Osborne, in studio with us. We are in awe of the amount of years and knowledge of which Jeff have accomplished in motoring South Africa. Jeff has been my mentor in motoring for many years, and it is such an honor to say that my mentor has become my ambassador for my women empowerment initiatives. This is due to his passion for the industry and for his desire to facilitate in the growth and prosperity of women in the trade, especially ambitious and passionate women who yearn to achieve in this male-dominated field. So let's welcome the influential and adored Jeff Osborne, and as usual, this is brought to you by Sariti Solutions. Hey Jeff.
Desh, thank you so much for the very warm and generous intro, and it's great to be here as always.
Jeff, you know I mean it from the bottom of my heart, right?
Absolutely, you are so generous, so kind, and I'm humbled by that. Thank you so much.
Jeff, I still can't believe as I sit here and when we do chat and about our initiatives, even when I Skype or when I'm with you on Zoom, I'm like, am I really talking to Jeff the legend? Is Jeff Osborne really wanting to give this little girl or woman now a chance to be amidst your your success? I know you're very humble, but I'm going to say it. Your achievements and your accomplishments in motoring industry, I am so humbled. I'm extremely, I'm just so touched that you have come on board and try to empower us like this.
So Desh, again, very generous, but essentially I'm here to serve, as I think I've said to you before, and I'm humbled to still be in demand, if you like, and able to add value where I can to this industry. So thank you so much.
Jeff, until the day you close your eyes, which is very, very long from now, and you've made that very clear to me, you will always be in demand. Your knowledge and what you've acquired over the years will always be, there's some things that you can never learn off a textbook. And you should be, like I said, you should be proud, and you should be, you should be proud of yourself for wanting to still give off your knowledge, especially to women in the motoring industry. So thank you for that. Can I ask you something, Jeff? What is the most valuable lesson that you've learned in motoring South Africa?
Well, I think what I've kind of learned in life, certainly in my commercial life and my work career, if you like, is the value and importance, as I was saying just now, of serving. You know, it's never about the individual. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. It's all about the people you surround yourself with, the team that you have, and the need to have that servant leadership mentality where you cannot achieve anything on your own, and neither should one ever presume to take credit for that, because underpinning every person and every success story is a group of people. Doesn't matter in what relationship it is, in a marriage, in any partnership, in any relationship, there's more than one person behind the person who delivers, who appears to be the leader. So I think that for me, I can constantly remind myself of that reality, that you're saying some very generous and complimentary things, which I'm very grateful for, but I'm mindful as you're speaking, and I'm thinking about all the people whom I've had the privilege of serving in the various teams that I've worked with over these so many years in this industry.
One of the people that you have learned from and you've introduced me to, not directly, is Brand Pretorius.
Certainly.
And are there more people like this in the industry that have influenced you?
There are plenty of people who've had influence on myself and so many others in the industry, and certainly Brant is one of them, no question about it. I had the honour and privilege of reporting directly to him when I was CEO of the RMI, and he served for a 5-year period as chairman of the RMI. So I had the benefit of Brant's wisdom and input and leadership. And there are so many who have served on the RMI board over the years, many of whom are still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's many, and I mean there are people I'm meeting today who are new in the industry, you know, in a sense,
Okay.
who also inspire me because whilst you say one acquires all this knowledge, I think the exciting thing is that I still learn, and everyone does. You still learn every day.
Are you learning from me, Jeff?
Absolutely.
We're laughing about it, but it is a serious question for me because I would like to believe that I am empowering people. You know, I don't always get that validation.
For sure, absolutely.
What have you learned from me, Jeff?
You're a natural at what you do, and that's
My ego, Jeff.
That's fantastic. No, you really are so good at, because you understand people and you have this passion, and there's no arrogance about you. You're humble and you want to serve, and it comes
My work is
done
done
through.
now. I'm retiring right now. I'm done. I got the validation from my legend himself.
Can I mention another person who has really inspired me and held me in awe more recently as a newcomer? And what's great about it is that she's the right profile. Talk about Marcia Aryaba, who has recently become CEO of Barlow World. And what is fantastic about it is that she's a lady, and you know how passionate I am about that. And she's made history in so many ways, and continues to do so. And you know, I was in a meeting with her just the other day, and some complex stuff, you know, all new things, and she is so sharp and so perceptive.
Well, you introduced me to Marsha.
Oh, right.
Many years ago.
Excellent.
It's because of you and Gumtrees of Women in Autos that Marsha and I met on the panel. So yeah.
And importantly, I introduced Marcia to you.
Yes, and she was my first guest on the show, and now we literally almost 100 episodes later.
There we go.
Yeah. So
there's no shortage of heroes in this industry, and leaders who have made it and continue to make a difference in a very dynamic and increasingly challenging landscape.
Yes,
I mean, it's changing all the time.
Yes. Jeff, I think what I want to ask you next is also in line with you endorsing me and you validating my work. I want to find out, and this I hold so close to my heart, why have you made the decision to join us on our initiatives?
Okay, well, that's a great question. First of all, I was immediately impressed by you as a person initially, and that always makes a difference. The chemistry's got to be right.
People buy from people, right?
Absolutely. But the cause that you represent appeals to me tremendously. I've always been a champion, if you like. I've always been very strong about transformation within this industry. It's no secret that it is an industry that has a kind of a legacy of being a white male dominated industry. No indictment on the industry. I mean, this is a global phenomenon, but it is changing, and it's changing at a tremendous pace, and it needs to change. So, you know, I've always been passionate about playing any role that I can that would serve to feed that pace of change and to accelerate it where we can. So what you do is very much in line with my own aspirations. I want to see more ladies in positions of seniority and influence in this industry, and more diversity, broadly speaking, and it is happening. So what you have very kindly offered me to participate in here is to play a small part in accelerating your vision, which is great. It's fantastic, and I'm very proud to be part of that.
Oh, thank you. I know that you have been able to work with the who's who in the motoring industry, and obviously your experience in motoring South Africa spans over 50 years, I think, right? 5 decades. You started when you were 5, okay?
It wasn't even legal.
But with regard to that, and my initiative, it is the first in the country, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And obviously, you can only imagine, and you've been with me in the past couple of months and years in my career, so you've witnessed my struggles in terms of being a woman, being, as you said, white dominated. I am not white, as you can see.
I didn't notice.
You didn't notice. But you've witnessed my struggles, and that's one of the reasons or the contributing factors in terms of you wanting to just empower me to empower other people.
Absolutely.
So, Jeff, In terms of like the show itself, the show has become a platform for hundreds of people. We on a weekly basis receive over 50 applications to be on the show, and we literally have to go and choose people.
Phenomenal.
Streamline. And then we also, for Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, we received over 2,500 people countrywide. What future do you see for MWOTI and for Talk the Talk show, given that we have the right leadership? Because I always say, and it's not me being humble, but I always say that I don't have the tools in order to take this forward. I have the initiative and not the tools. Hence, you are here to empower that. But what do you see for the future?
Well, that level of demand, Desh, is a clear vindication of the fact that you're doing it right. I think your timing is perfect because, yes, absolutely, you're the first to have this dedicated initiative, but it aligns perfectly with the fact and the reality that the industry, for a while they were doing lip service to it, but they have started taking it very seriously in the last while. And your timing was absolutely perfect. So you come in at a time when they are looking to partner where they can and looking for avenues and for people who can assist them with their own transformation initiatives and transformation in the broader sense. Yes. So your timing is perfect. And is there a future? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a journey, and it certainly is not over yet. So, I think it's fantastic that you sensed it at the right time, the right person at the right time, and that is you.
Thank you. And as you just validated now, it is a journey, and the scales are not balanced. And I sit here, unfortunately, and it's so sad to say this and discuss this with you on a public platform, that we had to do away, and it's very sad, it's the first time I'm actually going to be talking publicly about this. We had 15 categories in the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, and listeners, please take special note of what I'm about to say. It's the first time I'm saying it again, sorry, because it really does break my heart. The scales are not balanced. I had to do away with the Dealer Principal Award. I had to do away with the Sales Manager Award, Parts Manager Award, Service Manager Award, and a few awards, and have brought down the categories to the general awards. Why? We don't have enough dealer principals.
Right.
We don't have enough sales managers that are women. We don't have enough service managers. And I would like, do you believe that I will contribute, or we will contribute somehow to balance the scales? Not now, maybe later. Do you believe?
No, I think absolutely. I think you just illustrated the fact that the journey is only really just begun.
It has.
The categories you just mentioned are the key ones. Those are the important positions, and there are exceptions, of course. I mean, we mentioned Marcia Aryaba earlier on. She has indeed been a dealer principal. There are a lot of lady dealer principals out there. So, and senior parts ladies, and that is part of the journey. It's part of the evolution. It will continue to occur, and I wouldn't subscribe to the principle of dropping those categories. I can understand that there might not be enough participants and candidates within certain categories, but it will grow, Desh, with your passion and input. And I think what you should be doing, and I think you do it very diplomatically, is to pressurize the businesses out there.
I do.
Yeah.
I use this platform
Say to them,
to
hey,
do so.
you're only giving me two. That's, or whatever the case may be.
I used the platform. I had one of the dealer principals, a male dealer principal, that was sitting here, and I said to him, so how many women do you have? Is it 50-50? He said, no, it's 20, 80. And I'm like, next time you sit here, I need to have the numbers.
Absolutely.
So I do.
That's the way to do it.
I do.
Sure.
So yes, Jeff, I'd like to be back here with you in 10 years from now, and I'd like to change that whole entire dialogue in terms of saying we've made it, we've done it, even if we got 20% more dealer principals, because there's not enough.
Well, I suspect and I hope in 10 years' time that the whole theme of your show has changed, or the initiative, in the sense that we are then looking for, because there'll be rare creatures, white male DPs.
I love that.
There'll be so few left that we'll probably be trying to...
No, I don't want that to happen. I really don't want that to happen. Okay, since we're a bit on a more lighter note, Jeff, one of the things that attracted me to you is your genuine love for cars, especially classic cars. Let's talk a bit about that.
No, absolutely. It's been my passion since I was a child. I've always loved cars, petrol in my veins, all those cliches. They are certainly very strongly there and deeply entrenched in my ethos and my hobbies. I do indeed collect classic cars. I've rebuilt many over the years, and I still own a few, and motorcycles as well. So anything motor related, I enjoy and continue to do so.
And you still ride your bike?
Absolutely, I ride my motorcycles, I drive my old cars,
Yes.
and I still repair them and maintain them myself. I have a big workshop at home, and that's my hobby.
Yes.
So I think I've been very fortunate in the sense that I've been able to kind of make my career part of my hobby.
Yes.
In the same industry.
But what is your recipe to success in terms of everything that you do?
Well, I think, and I'm perhaps going to repeat what I said earlier, that I think it's recognition of the absolute reality that you can never do it on your own.
Yeah.
Never, don't try to do that. Give credit where it's due. One must always disperse the credit and the motivation and the enthusiasm. It's a team effort.
Yes.
And key to that, to getting a business right, I always say this is the 3 Ps. Fundamentals of any business, quite frankly. And number one, absolute number one, is people. Get the right people into the right positions. Then get the right product. Because if you're not selling the right product or delivering the right product, you're not going to succeed.
Right.
So get the product right. It's got to meet the needs of your clients and customers, and then get your processes right. So that the business succeeds and you monetize it properly, and it becomes successful, and you owe that to the team, because they're there. This is their livelihood. They sustain their income from the business, so it behoves any leader to make sure the business is a success. So right people, right products, right processes, those 3 fundamentals to me are the pillars for success of any business.
And now I'm even more convinced that we're going to be successful, because I have the people, I have the product, and you bring in the process, right?
There we go.
Okay, so Jeff, I'd like to ask you, this is something that intrigued me from the beginning, and even though we had 5 or 6 years of a relationship, between us, I never asked this question. If it wasn't motoring, where would you be?
Wow.
Have you even thought about it?
Yeah, well, I suppose if I've been born in a different era or generation, because my other passion is horses, and the mode of transport prior to the horse's carriage, as it was first referred to, was horses, and I love horses. So in the absence of cars, I probably would be riding around, galloping around the countryside, which I still do on occasion.
You do.
It's all to do with horsepower.
Yes, horsepower. Look, I'm sure that's a question a lot of people in motoring South Africa would want to know. I must tell you, Jeff, wow, I think I've had 100 people sitting in the seat. I've met over 5,000 people in the motoring industry over 6 years. And there's not a single person that I asked, do you know Jeff Osborne, that said no. Not one.
I hope that's a good thing.
Absolutely. So yeah, I guess I do choose right. Tell us something fun about yourself. A fun fact.
A fun fact. Oh gosh, there are so many anecdotes and times when I've had to laugh at myself.
Tell us.
And I think for me, what has been so entertaining, particularly in the last few years, after I left the RMIs, I joined Gumtree. So this was now entering the digital age, the online space, if you like. And although I've always said I have youth on my side, my dear wife says, no, you have youth at your side.
Love
which was just as well, because I now had to make a transition from the old analog way of doing business, where I had an in-tray and a PA, to doing it online. And this was a steep learning curve.
Right.
And the number of mistakes that I have made over the years, and the faux pas I've made online in Zoom meetings, nothing to be ashamed of, but certainly there have been occasions when I just wanted to, hang my head. But but you do learn,
Yes.
and I think one just has to accept the fact that it is part of the journey,
Yes.
and to to smile on occasion,
Yes, yes.
and you continue to learn. So,
Yes.
it was a great leveling experience for me to try and get up to speed
Right.
on the change that is happening so
Right.
rapidly. But it was a very steep learning curve, but it's been a tremendously entertaining one, and I still love it. I enjoy it. It's so stimulating.
Yes.
So stimulating.
Yes. Well, Jeff, I think that's another question that I don't think only I will take pleasure in listening to the answer, because I think I share the sentiments that we all view you as a very prim and proper man. So yeah, it's nice to know, and it's also very empowering to know that you made mistakes.
And continue to do
And
so.
we continue to
As long
do
as
that.
we
As long
learn,
as you love,
as
you
long as we
learn.
learn from them, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite quote? I know you're all about making, references to, and you love your quotes. You love it. Even on the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards evening, some of these quotations actually resonates with us. So,
Well, there is one, but it just came to me as a spontaneous response because I wasn't expecting a question. But there is one that I think has influenced me over the years, and it's going to sound a little bit sexist because it's "maneth maketh man," and what that says is that it's all about integrity for me. So one could take the man part out of it.
Yes.
Maneth maketh the person,
yes,
the person,
yes.
and I think that is what it's a life code by which one needs to live, is to always never compromise one's integrity. You can build up a reputation over many years and you can destroy it in 5 seconds by doing it wrong. So I think it's important always to be transparent, to be honest. Before you say something, think about it. Is it the truth? Stick with that.
Yes.
And to make integrity an absolute priority.
Yes.
And there's many quotations and cliches around that, but
Right.
I think underpinning all of that is the absolute necessity of being able to look yourself in the eye.
You know, Jeff, that's one of the reasons that I wanted or yearned, actually. At first it was a yearning, and then I didn't know, all I had to do was actually ask, can you join me? It was a yearning, and I prayed about it before asking you to join us. Is your integrity, is your principle, is the fact, and I always say this, that my grandmother taught me this: it will take you a lifetime to build your reputation, in a split second to damage that reputation.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to say your age, but it's taken you a whole 21 years, all your life, to build this reputation, and you've not put a foot wrong. And I'd like to be in that position to say that I can hold my head up high and walk with integrity and have people look up to me. And that's my next question, Jeff. My final question to you is, what legacy would you like to leave behind many years from now? Let's add that.
Well, again, I'm humbled by the question, and I find myself automatically not thinking about myself. I think I'd like to be remembered as an inspirational leader or team player. And I'm even reluctant to use the term leader because that infers the boss.
Yes.
There is always someone who coordinates the effort of the team,
Yes.
and whatever title you want to give to that
Yes.
individual. So I'd like to be remembered as someone who did that effectively.
Yes.
And also in the process helped many people to develop themselves. And I think it's so important to put back as much as you can throughout the journey, not just to take. And there's nothing more rewarding, and I've found this so often and so many times, continue to do so, where you take someone under your wing, you mentor them, and you see them grow
Yes.
and progress,
Yes.
and way beyond your wildest expectations, that they should become better than yourself.
Mr. Jeff Osborne, you have been a gift from God to me. That's what you are. And I know you don't fare well with all these compliments. I'm always complimenting you, and I'm always, even in our private times, I'm always saying to you that you are one of the driving forces behind everything that I do. And I'm literally going to feel so emotional now. I literally am so emotional that, again, I sit with a legend that have joined me in my endeavors, in my struggles, to take my space, to take my place in motoring South Africa. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for empowering me and for bringing this to me and bringing your knowledge to me. And I appreciate you. And I hope you've been through so many. You've been through so many different roles in the motoring industry, and I hope this is going to be your final one. I hope this is going to be your final
Desh,
one.
again, it is so generous, and I'm sincerely touched by that. Thank you so much for those very warm words. And it is I who's the beneficiary of this relationship, so it's certainly not a one-sided relationship. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank
Lovely.
you so much. I'm back, viewers. Thank you so much for watching, supporting, and following us once again. Also, please remember to follow us on our social media platforms. And don't forget, we have thousands of vehicles on sale to choose from countrywide on our vehicle listing page at www.womantalk.co.za. And viewers, we only advertise for bank accredited dealerships. Ladies, we are constantly creating thoughts to help us prepare for the future. If we have not experienced something, our minds try to create an image of what it will be like or what to expect, rather than simply accepting it as a new experience and learning as we go. When we're able to remain present, we're also able to remain open. So remember, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift of God, which is why we call it the present. This is why real generosity to the future, just like Jeff shows in all my initiatives, a generosity to the future depends on what you do today, right, Jeff?
Absolutely.
Okay, and once again, I would just like to remind our ladies that the question should never be who's going to let me. It should always be who's going to stop me.